let's crack on with the border around the cardigan. First things first, I've got 3 buttons here. Of course, I've made these buttons myself. I'm going to show you how to make the buttons. You're going to grab your yarn, grab your crochet hook and secure the yarn, chain 2. If you're wanting a bigger button, chain 3. Slip stitch or single crochet into the first chain, chain 1, and you are going to go ahead and single crochet in the center until you reach the end. And there's the button. Now, if you would like a more exaggerated button, more of a 3D button, you shall slip stitch into the first chain. You see the hole? You will carry on single crocheting in the hole all the way around the button until you have no more space left anymore. I'm not going for too much of an exaggerated button because I feel like it's going to take away from the beauty of the cardigan. So you're going to carry that on all the way around and stop when you feel like it. Slip stitch like that when you're ready. Snip your yarn and tuck the yarn in. That's your button done. Now I'm going to have my buttons on the right hand side, so I'm going to start the border on the right hand side, and I'm not going to rib the border just because if we rib the border and around the neck, the cardigan's going to go scrunchy like this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to chain 6 and see how I feel about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I chain 6, I'm checking how much of the flower I'm going to cover, because remember this is the neck portion. So I'll be covering that much. That'll be on one side and that much on the other. That's not enough. 6, 7, 8, 9. I might as well round it up to 10. Now that's more like it. So I've chained 10 for the border. I shall chain 1 more because we're going to skip a stitch. And what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to skip the first stitch and I'm going to double crochet all the way up until the end. Yeah, perfect. Chain 1. I'm going to turn around. I'm going to chain another one. And I'm going to carry on double crocheting. Carry on working on this length all the way up until I've covered the bottom of the cardigan from the right hand side all the way up until I reach this side here. Then I'm going to stop and come back and tell you what to do, because what we need to do is adjacent to where we're placing the buttons, we need to add the holes where the buttons can fit into. Now I'm not going to do 2 separate borders and then join them at the top. it's too much faff. I'm going to literally go ahead, do a length, get till here. I'm going to grab some yarn. I'm going to stick the border to the right hand side here, and then I'm going to mirror the rest of the border on the way down. So I shall carry on working on this length, and then I'm going to come back. I've gotten to this much length so far. Of course, that is not enough for me to go all the way around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some of my yarn, and I'm going to start to stitch this border to my cardigan. I'm literally just going to bend it back like this, because you see the bottom part that we ribbed? I need to just do a slip stitch secure. So I'm just going to slip stitch in to the last stitch of the ribbed border. Just chain one, and then I'm just going to go ahead and just single crochet or slip stitch like this. I would have done this with a needle, but because of the way that the rose flower petal square bits are designed, it's just going to be easier to do with a crochet hook. I'm going to fix the border to the squares exactly as we did when we were fixing this ribbing on the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and literally just single crochet all the way up this, but I really need to make sure that this is straight and it's not pulled in, otherwise it's going to become ribbed. We don't want a ribbed border on the actual body, so I'm really straightening it and making sure that the motifs are level or in line with the border. So I need to drop about 3 more single crochets. So if I lay that flat, now I can see that that's in line with the bit that I need to stitch with, like this. I have fixed 1, 2, 3 buttons. I'm going to do the 4th now. I don't think this 4th is needed, but I made it and I don't want to waste it. So I'm just going to go ahead, and secure my yarn using a darning needle to the button. Like this. I'm just double knotting, and I'm placing the buttons right in the center of the flower, just because I think a marker is necessary. So I am just going to go ahead and just sew the button on like this. I'm going to go inside the button and then inside the cardigan, and again in the center of the button, like that. Just making sure that I'm sewing in the center of the button, not too much on the exterior, like the bottom bit here of the button. If we do that, we're gonna have a hard time closing our button. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna take the yarn that I have already, the tail of the yarn rather, and I'm just gonna triple knot it. I'm gonna go ahead and weave in like that. Grab my scissors, snip, and that. Now let's look at making holes in the border to fit inside the buttons. Okay, so I have turned my cardigan upside down because I am right-handed, and I've leveled up the rose petals like so. Now we need to make a hole for this button to fit through. This is quite simple. What I'm going to do is I'm going to simultaneously join the border to the stitches while I'm progressing with the border. So I've chained 2 as I would. I'm going to turn my work around. I'm going to double crochet as usual. I'm going to double crochet again as usual. Then I am going to double crochet again as usual. Then what I'm going to do is chain 1, skip the next double crochet chain. I'm going to go in the following one, and I'm going to double crochet into the next stitch as usual. I'm going to double crochet in the next stitch as usual, and then I'm going to double crochet in the next stitch as usual. There's my whole button. I'm just going to chain 2 and stop there. I want to show you how this fits. Literally like so. It's a really beautiful fit. It's nice and taut. So I'm going to carry on like this. Now, if you've got a smaller buttonhole, what I would recommend is chaining 1, but not skipping a stitch. So double crochet straight into that space. So you will have a gap for your button, but it will just be a little bit smaller than what you see here. On that second row, see that hole that I just made for the button? I'm going to casually double crochet into it, almost as if it's a normal stitch, but it's not. Chain 2. So I will carry this on off camera, just because we will be here for quite a few hours if I carry on. And this literally is the final touch. So after I've finished these buttons, I'm going to show you the final result of what this cardigan looks like. Please stay tuned for the final reveal. Okay friends, this is the final result. I am so chuffed with this. I'm so glad that I chose this beautiful navy blue colour. It really pops, and I hope that I can wear this probably on top of a black, maybe a legging, or maybe like a black top. I think the colour will really pop. I hope that this video was helpful for you. Thank you so much for watching, and have a blessed day.